Hello everybody, and welcome back once again to Super Metroid Pantheon, the land of this. Long elevators and interesting item progressions. Still looking for super missiles, and we got power bombs. I guess early? I really don't think that's that big a deal though, because we are just about to collect power bombs where you're supposed to collect them, I believe. If I remember this correctly, which I'm pretty sure I do, but I could be wrong. So yes, more Meridian stuff, and something you will notice. Well, actually you wouldn't notice, because we haven't got across it yet. The major bosses... Okay, well, Phantoon and Dragon are kind of misplaced major bosses according to the areas in the original. But we'll get to those. These little things get on my way. I forget what these are called. I just looked them up too. Well, sort of just looked them up. There's actually going to be something very interesting with those things at some future point. Nothing to do with this hack, but I'm not going to spoil anything. There's just going to be something very interesting with those. So, you have something to look forward to. Get out of here, crab. Those things deal quite a bit of damage, actually. Of course, being late game enemies, they should deal a lot of damage. That's the balance with enemies. I know I've been saying this a lot, but balancing enemies and all this other stuff in a hack is hard to do. It's much easier with a linear hack because then you know the player has to have this to get to this area. So they, like if you have a heated area, well, they need various suits. So you know with all that, there's at that point you know how many energy tanks they could have, how many are in the path. So that's a bit easier to design for with the enemies, but it's still, even then, maybe I'm just really bad at it because I still find it difficult. I mean, that's quite a good possibility if that happened. And bomb box. Interesting. Oh, well, I don't really need that. Alright, get through this wonderful, wonderful mess of crumble blocks. Fun. Yes, crumble blocks are fun. Sometimes. And hopefully we don't get crumbled on. That works. In the original, what's interesting about the crumble blocks is, or shot blocks I guess I should say, that respawn, if you get stuck in them, when they reform, if you're in their place or whatever, they actually hurt you in that game, which is interesting. There's a lot of interesting things about the original. And if you notice again the minimap, oh, and the eye door, I guess, that kind of helps give it away. There is something, probably boss-like, in this room. And what do you know? Ow. There's a Phantoon in this weird-looking, whatchamacallit room. And the wonderful haze. Haze is very interesting with Phantoon, which if you've watched or played Oxide, you know what it does, because he's still visible in the haze. He doesn't technically disappear, which is interesting. Now he most likely does actually disappear if this were real, I guess. But due to coding in the game and stuff, limitations with hardware and all that, He's still quite visible. Oh, come on. Phantoon is... It's like Crocomire, where you can have a really good run on him, or you could have a really bad run. If you're doing a speed run, this fight in Crocomire can cause some issues. Just because how their pattern might play out. And of course, the biggest problem with that is if you're like this uber pro at it, you can't control anything with it, so if they give you a bad run, well, that pretty much ruins your speed run right there. Because whatever the 5, 6, 7 seconds or whatever you're trying to save are all gone in the fight, so that'd be interesting. Oh, come on, you. Oh, miss. Let's shoot him with my normal beam, because that worked real well. And he's almost gone. I think he has a bit more health in this than the original. I'm not sure, actually. Thank you. So that's one Phantoon down. Maybe there's more. Which got me to thinking. Actually, that's an interesting idea. I don't know if I'll use it, so it's interesting enough where I might, but why does nobody use the same boss more than once? Because there's a boss bit for like a major boss bit and a mini boss bit, a chorizo bit for each area. Why doesn't someone use, like, say Phantoon, because it would probably make most sense with him. You could use Phantoon in Meridian and Brinstar and Norfair. Be like, he's in, sort of like how the power came back on after he left the wrecked ship. Maybe as you're on a station or something and you have to blow him out of computer terminals around the station to power sections on to advance. That's kind of an interesting idea, actually. You can make up some silly story with Dragon, the planet's being invaded by flesh-eating shrimp, and there's an item in here somewhere. The planet's being invaded by these shrimp, and you just have to fight off all the big shrimps, or whatever. You could do some interesting things with that. I don't see why that wouldn't work. Because they should appear if the boss bit isn't set in that area. Or checked off, however it is. I don't know, I kind of like that idea, actually. Maybe it will be used somewhere. Of course, who am I kidding? By the time Fear's finished, I'll probably be 80 years old. Yes, there is something up here and I want it. Some interesting background things too. Oh, an energy tank, I definitely want that. I only have 4 right now, so this would be most welcome. Thank you. It helps if you jump. So yeah, that is actually an interesting idea. I might do something with that, because it would kind of fit one of my hack ideas for a hack after Fear. I have like 6 or 7 hacks in total, where I have like solid ideas for that I want to do. Fear is by far the most open, sort of random collection of garbled mess of them all, so the others I imagine would be, get in there, I imagine it would be slightly easier to do. Or at least be done faster, just because the premise of them is already much more well known than Fear was. Although they'll probably change once they keep adding stuff. But yeah, I do actually like that idea. So why hasn't anybody done that yet? And if anybody asks, none of you heard this. No, I don't care. I would overdub this if I didn't want that out. But it will. Or would I just kept my mouth shut, I guess. Either way, it doesn't matter. Maybe we'll get to that sometime. And there you go, power bombs. Defeat Phantoon, get power bombs. Yay, we sequence broke and got them and didn't end up using them before power bombs anyway. So I guess if you wanted to do that, you could get... See, I don't know this hack well enough. And break this tube. And what's down? Oh, super missile door. I could use super missiles, that would be nice. See, I mean, I guess with the early power bombs, you could skip Phantoon till later. You have to defeat him because there's a statue room. But you could get like Ice Wave Plasma first, probably. Or Wave and Plasma, I guess. Which would make him a lot easier, and it might save time. Maybe. But you might be going out of your way to get power bombs in the first place, so... I don't know. Yes, I know it's something down here. Hey, Space Pirate, you don't see a power bomb walk there. But that's one of the... Ouch. These guys I can't hurt at all. I know it's in this room and I really want it, but I can't remember if I need super missiles or not. So let's... Because there's a very good item to show you right here. Yeah, Screw Attack is right there. Excellent item to have. The most valuable item, I believe. You know, actually, maybe that's a bigger convenience item, because you don't ever need it. Really, it's just there. So I guess if you list Screw Attack as a convenience item, then it becomes hard to decide between that and Spring Ball and sometimes Space Jump. And where is this thing? I'm thinking... Oh yeah, Super Missile. Okay, I guess we gotta come back here later. Yeah, Super Missiles you get awfully late in this hack. It's almost like Morph Ball. Yeah, stop shooting your lasers. Okay, so yeah, but that is the reason I like playing hacks. It's because random ideas pop up in my head while playing through them. Like, why not have Phantoon and all as the major boss in all 4 areas? Stuff like that. It's interesting. I come up with a lot of ideas that way. That's a much better damage boost. I got more if I can go through all these tunnels. What a novel idea. Problem door. Maybe we do get to Kraid here. I almost want to say that this isn't the right way, but I'm also not really sure. So it's better to check and get attacked by side hoppers in your face. That is a... Oh, good grief. Get out here. That is one of my major... Ow, wave beam. Okay, I'm not going this way. Which leaves... Leaves place in Norfair. Being partially familiar with the hack, you would think would help, and in some instances it does. But sometimes you think you know more than you really do, and you go off in places where you really shouldn't be. And they'll get you absolutely nowhere, which of course does a lot. It's a lot worse than just looking around and finding stuff. Like, oh, well, I can skip this part for now, and then you forget all about it, and miss items and all that fun stuff. What do we... I do like that grapple destroys these things. Okay, back to the unexplored room because I don't know why. Oh, well, what's back here? Spikes and blood-sucking things, or energy, whatever you call it. I think back here is just sort of an item cache place. It's just items back here, which is not a bad thing, especially an energy tank. Oh yes. This is a tight little speedball. We have to be very good with it, because you have to fit it within this little thing between the item pedestal and the ground there. So this should be fun. I really should make a video how to do this. And I should have had that. I just morphed too soon. It's all about where you morph. It's just learning where to morph before you hit the ground. And there's a like one other thing you have to be aware of when doing it. And that's how you do it. My reserve tank. I think everybody knows how I feel about those. But there's a few things that go into it. I should probably just wait to make a video about it to really explain what it's all about, or how to do it. And here's something else. Force damage. I have to take damage to go around here. I do not actually mind that so much, especially in instances where it's just an item cache anyway. Get off. Because you don't have to be here. So, having to go through spikes to get items that I don't need, not a big deal. I honestly would rather see more of that, because it seems more realistic, I guess. And actually, I'm getting close here to time, so I'll just go in here and get some stuff. Yeah, wonderful missile. So yeah, just items back here. Still a good place to have. But getting up there in time, so thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and maybe you'll like that idea with same boss in all those areas, and we will see you for the next part.